So I was doing tax fraud for this woman that I met at the welfare office, and I didn't even know it, right?
All right, y'all, it's tax season. And yeah, I was looking around to find some tax stories, right? And then what did I come across? This. And I said, let me pull up my seat. Because tax fraud part 1, what do you mean? And from the looks of it, I'm not the only one who was invested after I heard that.
So what happened is I'm standing in line because I had just lost my job. I'm like, man, I need some food stamps and I didn't have money. So I'm standing in the line, the lady standing in the line too. She look over at me, she like, man, you look like you're smart. And a bright young woman. I said, well, thank you. She was like, I'm looking for an administrative assistant basically. And basically all you will be doing is filing my receipts and the appropriate thing so I can file taxes. I'm a real estate agent, an entrepreneur and all this stuff, so I have to file my, the receipts so she don't have to pay certain stuff.
This story already about to go bad, I can tell, because it's giving boss babe energy. It's giving do something strange for a little piece of change. Ma'am, she didn't ask you your credentials, so you mean to tell me you was just in a line picking up your lunch meat and you were approached by a lady that said, you know what, you look bright, you look smart. What do that even mean? But anyway, and she said, you know what? I got a job opening and you look like you'd be perfect to be my accountant. And she didn't know you? This sounds like she wanted an accomplice. And I was saying, ma'am, this ain't Batman and Robin. No pun intended, because she might be robbing somebody and it might be the IRS. And you went from picking up your lunch meat to being an accomplice.
I say, okay, how much you paying? She say, I'm paying $40 an hour. You will get paid every day. I'm only looking for a couple of hours, a couple of days a week, just some quick money. I say, shit, okay. Asked my husband, I said, what you think? You think I should do that? He was like, not, just check it out.
Oh, the husband ain't tell you this don't sound right? Just check it out. First off, man, why you ain't handling your receipting? So you a real estate agent, boss babing it up, and I ain't mad at it. Get them houses sold. But you ain't been doing your accounting the whole time? Mind you, this woman posted this 1/30, which is January 30th, 2026. And you want her to come in and be Mrs. Fix-It? Ma'am, you probably got receipts all over the place. Talking about some $40 an hour. And this sounds like a scheme that maybe Todd set up.
It could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with.
So I go to her house. She lives in Brentwood. I say, okay. So when I get there, the first thing she said to me, like, I need to print out NDA for you. I need to print out an NDA for you so you can sign it. You can do it. But she was so cuckoo in the head, she never had me sign the NDA. So she give me the folder. She's like, you have to create some folders. Like, she had like eating out. She had like gas receipts, clothes receipts, gift receipts, like all these things to kind of get out of paying certain taxes as like the wealthy. So, she's like, anything that you a category for that's not there, make a folder and do it. Okay, chill. So I go over there a couple of days. She kind of just telling me like, I was at the welfare office because I help people, like older people, get health care. Like I come down here for them and I'm like, wow, what a sweet woman. She wasn't a sweet woman. And so I'm like, wow, that's incredible or whatever. And so I filed the papers or whatever, and she like adamant, like, make sure you're putting the right things in the right folders. Like, make sure you're doing that. And I'm like, all right, I got it the first time, but
the fact that you a new employee, allegedly, and you already got beef with the lady who hired you off the street. This was some shady stuff going on from the jump, but I digress. She said, per hour? $40 make me holler. I'm just going off the information we were given. What's interesting also is she's telling us that this lady was mean. However, we just gonna skip over the fact that y'all don't know each other. Y'all met casually while you was in the wild handling stuff for your personal life, not in a business setting. You didn't do no sort of job application, no sort of vetting. You was a geek off the street. I don't know if you geeky or not, but she said you look like you was smart. She put you in her business. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if anybody come up to you in the street and say, you know what, I got some money for you, all you gotta do is get in this car and drive to the location I gave you. Don't ask no questions. All you gotta do is do this right here for me. Even though I don't know you, you look smart. And you know what? I know smart people when I see them. And you got a bright future. These are red flags, y'all. No application process. No beating out the other competitors. They offer you some quick money. If it sounds too good to be true, it might be. It might be.
So I'm like, chill. I'll make sure I'm careful. I get done putting everything in the folders. And she's like, okay, now on your way home, can you drop these files off to my accountant so he can file my taxes for me? I say, okay. She's like, I'll pay you for gas or whatever. I said, that sounds good. So she give me my money plus gas. I dropped the papers off to the accountant. I didn't work no more that week. The next week came, she pissed, right? I come in, it's like, man, people can't do right. Like, this blowing me. Side note, she has a son in jail for harming somebody. But she didn't talk about that, so she already pissed with the son because he was supposed to have court. He didn't have court because he offended, like he had hurt somebody else and while he was locked up, but that's a whole different story. And so she pissed. She's like, man, people can't do right. I'm thinking she's talking about me, so I'm getting offensive. I was like, what? I put the damn files in the paper. I put the folders like you asked me. So like, what you talking about? So she like, oh no, my accountant around put the wrong numbers in because she had him fixing her numbers so she don't have to pay certain stuff. So she like, he put the wrong numbers in, now they audited me.
Now hold up.
Say, hold up. Wait a minute.
All of a sudden, now she's being audited by the IRS because the accountant didn't do some coding right. Ma'am, I'm feeling like she wanted you to be the fall girl. She wanted to be like, hey, or something like, it's somebody else's fault besides mine. And this is why you got to be real careful when it comes to finances and helping people, especially people you don't know, because now you in it. And we about to get into part 2, but I need to go to these comments. And this comment says, so I was doing tax fraud, immediately sat. And you know what? Me too, because I'm in my chair nice and comfy. Because what do you mean tax fraud? You were supposed to pick up the turkey meat and just come home. Now, this comment here says, if it starts with all you gotta do is, it usually ends in jail time. Y'all seen the examples I gave y'all earlier, but I digress. And somebody said, no hello first, sis. Woo! All right, and I'm ready for part 2, and I'm already stressed. Ma'am, is you about to go to jail?
So now basically she's like irate. I get back to work, she's like, look, like they're trying to audit me. You know, I'm not trying to say it's your fault or anything, but I'm just saying like you really need to make sure you're careful now because I'm not trying to, you know, like go to jail or whatever. And that's me, okay? So she's like, I'm gonna give you my bank statements because they want all the bank statements from all of my accounts because they don't believe what I've given them is adding up to what the receipts I'm giving them. So they like, boom, I need you to go through all my bank statements, but who do you live with? And this me, I live with my boyfriend. She say, okay, well, what I need you to do is I do want you to take this home, but I have to be able to trust you. And then now she's still like, I need to get that NDA for you to sign it too, but never gave it to me. So she's like, if you live with your boyfriend, what I need you to do, I need you to go in a room by yourself and lock the door because I don't know if your husband would take my bank statements and steal my money.
I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud, y'all. The woman she's working for, she ain't all the way there. She can't be. So you mean to tell me you shopping for eggs and see somebody say you look smart and then you give them all your bank statements, no credentials, they're not qualified, you don't know what their history is, and there are professionals that handle this. There are literally apps for bookkeeping when you own a business. So what this story is telling me is allegedly there's a business owner that has not been keeping track of their own stuff, their receipts, their invoices, and now they about to be audited by the IRS, and now they're trying to get everything together. They're trying to get together their spreadsheets because when you own a business, you do track expenses to be able to write a lot of that off during tax season. And with that, this helps a lot of people not have to pay so much to the government in taxes because you've had business expenses, but you have to be able to justify those business expenses and they have to be legit. And this is why you should really talk to a tax professional, a CPA, an accountant, whoever you need to talk to, a actual professional in the field to make sure you're doing everything right, to make sure you're spending within your limits and you're not doing stuff that wouldn't be recognized as a business expense by the IRS. That is a whole process. That is why it's important as a business owner to talk to the pros. But she went and got a Joe Schmo off the street to help her with essentially her bookkeeping, her personal information for her business, which, by the way, she should have been keeping track of that. There is no way that all of a sudden in January you're having this issue. Your books are all out of whack. That means they've been out of whack for a while. You ain't been keeping receipts. You, like, more than likely the business owner is just swiping the credit card, just buying stuff. And now it's like, oh, the IRS is auditing me and they want me to show proof of where all of these spending has really been going. And what it sounds like is you probably just got a whole bunch of receipts and now you're over here like, okay, is this subscriptions? Are these gifts? Are these receipts for gas? Are these receipts for advertising? These are all categories that business owners use for taxes. But if you're not doing that and you're waiting to the last minute till you get audited, it's going to be really bad. But it should never be so bad that you're hiring somebody off the streets who doesn't seem to be trained to know how to handle this. And it's not even anything crazy hard. And I'm not trying to discredit her, but this is a failure on the business owner, 1,000%.
Think we some thieves? Come on now. But anyway, so this me, okay? Whatever, I guess whatever, I do it. So she's like, what I need you to do, basically what I did with the receipts. She want me to go through her bank statements and highlight, if it's a restaurant, she want me to highlight it in one color. If it's a shopping trip, she'd be saying like, I used going to Chanel to buy a Chanel bag as a gift, as like a closing gift.
Now, the Chanel bags as a closing gift, y'all real estate agents, anything to close the deal, I guess. I don't know. They say it's hard out here for a pimp in 2026. And you know what? My real estate agent ain't did enough, because I got some pens, a magnet, a hard drive, a knife set, a cheese cutter. No shade, that cheese cutter was really efficient. I didn't even know it worked that way. Anyway, y'all doing Chanel? How you giving out Chanel as a closing gift, allegedly, but you ain't got no accountant, no bookkeeping? You're not uploading your receipts. This is why everybody who is good at one thing shouldn't all of a sudden be a business owner, shouldn't all of a sudden have an LLC, because this is part of business, receipts. And clearly a lot of y'all ain't worried about the IRS.
Or like whatever the case may be. So she's like, go through, highlight, and have a guide, and and I said, okay, cool. So she's like, you know what? Today's too tense. And she was really big on me dressing up. Like every time I came over there, I was really big about like, when you come over here, make sure you dressed up, because as a real estate agent, I don't know what I'll be doing, where I'll be in a day. I have a lot of celebrity clients or whatever, so we could be anywhere, anytime in LA. So you need to look good if you're gonna be going out with me.
It's given Adam. And if y'all get what I mean, what do you mean? And trust me, I understand professionalism matters. But what do you mean we might need to go out with some celebrity clients? Ma'am, you sure she wasn't trying to have you out in traffic? Out in traffic! Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? Hitting the strip. Knights of the Lady. What do you mean?
Hey, chill. So she's like, let's take a break. Eddie Murphy's mama says she want to go to break, like lunch with me, so let's go to lunch. Boom, we go to Cheesecake Factory, and we get the Cheesecake Factory, and she get the acting crazy. Like I have no manners, as if I'm just a bum off the street. But
how Eddie Murphy's mom getting it? This story is so crazy. And no shade to you, ma'am, but I'm not saying she's a bum off the streets, but you are a stranger off the streets. We can honestly say that. Y'all were strangers. And now she's trying to get into Stranger Things. Because why are y'all at the Cheesecake Factory allegedly with Eddie Murphy's mom? Ain't you supposed to be categorizing some stuff? I'm trying to understand. And is the Cheesecake Factory about to be included in all this madness as a receipt that you need to categorize later as a quote unquote business expense? Because what is y'all doing at the Cheesecake Factory? What are y'all discussing with Eddie Murphy's mom, allegedly?
But I mean, maybe that's what she thought of me. But anyway, so she get to acting crazy. We pick the mom up. She's like, I sold her this condo. This condo was like $3 million. This is how I met Eddie Murphy. This me. I don't care. And so we go to Cheesecake Factory, and she's like, okay, what do you get? And I got some chips and guac, and then I got something else. And I was ready to pay with my own money, because I don't expect anybody to pay anything for me.
Right.
And she's like, no, like I got it. So I asked everybody around the table, will anybody like some chips and guac, because it is kind of like a table, food. But they all like, no, I'm gonna get a side salad, and then homegirl got something else. So I said, chill. I'll put salt in my chips and guac because nobody want none. And she tried to correct me like, you don't never do that. You supposed to eat it out of the put some on a plate, because you don't know who might want some. Y'all got your own whatever. Okay. And abruptly she's like, we finna go to Eddie Murphy's house.
Now I need to go ahead and get into part 3, because ma'am, you got me stressed for you. This is too much.
So boom, we leave Cheesecake Factory, and she's like, I need to stop and get some gas. And when we get to the gas station, she like, I want to tell you something, like come to the gas station with me. And this me, okay, cool. We going to gas station. When we get there, you don't need to be looking at him. You don't need to be smiling at him. You don't need to be talking to him. Who do you think you are to tell me these things? I said, I know how to conduct myself. And so
This is so weird. Why did you bring her? Why did she bring you? What is you supposed to be? I thought she was being hired to do the tax stuff. Why is she being coached? So how that turned into being coached on how to act around Eddie Murphy, allegedly at his house, and how to conduct herself around the quote unquote celebrities. Is you the assistant? Did she then promote you to be the help? Is that a promotion too? Is you doing that for free? And ain't nothing wrong with being the help. Was she supposed supposed to make the other lady look important? Because you know some people do that. They don't go places by themselves because they want somebody, you know, with them to make them look important. That's what a lot of them boss babes be doing. I'm just being honest. They do. Ma'am, you might have got finessed.
We get back to the car. We on our way to Eddie Murphy's house. Who do you think you are to tell me these things? I said, I know how to conduct myself. And so we get back to the car. We on our way to Eddie Murphy's house. We go through all these securities, finally get to his gate in the house. Walk in. She behind his mama. Can you ask the chef if he can make me some grilled cheese? I thought y'all was cool. I thought these was your people. These are your people? You scared? The mom asked the chef, like, hey, can you make us some grilled cheese? She really like it. The chef like, nah, like, I done cooked. I'm wrapping up for the day. So Eddie Murphy come upstairs. He like, you know, hey, like casual, like he know us. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm good. They watching whatever, you know, sport on TV. You watch this? This me? No, I'm not really into this. He's like, me neither. I just watch it because it's on TV. He continue about his way. And so now she's standing around thinking somebody's going to make her a grilled cheese. And so he was cool. We was cool. We get ready to leave. And as we're leaving, she like, it's like she be trying to be cool, but then she like, it's like she was bipolar or something. Cause she's like, oh, and you know, this was nice and all. I was just trying to show you like the good life. But
see, it's what I mean. Like, what in the MLM boss babe is going on here? What do you mean show her the good life? Ma'am, what would possess that real estate agent to want to quote unquote show this woman the good life? Now, I'll be honest, y'all. What do you think would be somebody's intention of that? Just meeting you at the store or something. I just wanted to show you the good life. Why? Why are you taking such interest in me? Is what I would have been asking. Nobody thinking none of that? Stranger danger? Stranger danger applies when you're an adult too. See, a lot of y'all become an adult and you done forgot the basics. An unorganized boss babe with the celebrity ties who hired you off the streets, didn't verify your credentials, got you handling her personal information and bringing you around people to do something that isn't in your job description, and then tells you, I'm just trying to show you a good life. Scam likely. Scam likely. Absolutely. If the red flags ain't going off, I'm gonna need some of y'all to tap into your discernment. Honestly, pray for wisdom and understanding. And also pray for discernment. And she's a nice looking lady. And you can't be walking around oblivious. Guard gotta be up. Be suspicious of everybody, especially the boss babes. Because some of these boss babes, they'll put you in some weird situations.
Don't forget, like, you need to, you know, get on Polar or something. Because she's like, oh, and you know, this was nice and all. I was just trying to show you, like, the good life. But don't forget, like, you need to, you know, get on getting those files, like, highlighting them files. It's me. That's chill. Let me get ready to call my boyfriend. And so he could come pick me up. And she was like, don't tell him to pick you up from here. Nah, my boyfriend even get up here. How would he get up here? Why would I tell him to come pick me up from up here? And she was like, and you know, don't forget to go in the room by yourself because I don't want your husband knowing my bank information and, you know, taking my information and filing or, you know, getting my.
And that's why she should have just hired somebody else to do that. But people wanted she wanted a discounted assistant. I don't know what that's about. That's really weird.
And trying to do fraud while I'm doing fraud for her.
Girl, how did you get wrapped up in this fraud? It says tax fraud, final part. Now I need to know what the heck is going on. And I need to know what does Eddie Murphy think about this because Eddie, how your name get in it?
So we get back to her house and my boyfriend, husband now. So if I say husband, boyfriend, it's interchangeable because he was my boyfriend then, he's my husband now. But he get to the house and before I leave, she like, I need to get that NDA because you don't need to tell him you went to Eddie Murphy's house because you can possibly give people Eddie Murphy's address. Lady, I'm here to put files and help you fraud the IRS, okay? And so, of course, the first thing I do when I get in a car, you'll never believe who house I went to today. So he's like, that's crazy. Like, how do you like it? It's like the second week at this point. I'm like, she's pretty crazy. Like, I don't think I'm going to do this for too much longer. And he was like, oh, well, at least you had a cool experience. So the next day I work again. She come up to me. She's like, you know, I got an alert on my credit saying that somebody tried to open an account. This mean, wow. She's like, where are you doing my bank information at? Is it in a room by yourself with the door locked or do your boyfriend know? It was your boyfriend in there. Because is your boyfriend filing stuff from my bank account? Girl, what the f*** is you talking about?
This is what I mean. Now all of a sudden you got quote unquote fraud and you're gonna be like, you know what? I did hire that girl at the grocery store when she was getting them eggs and that lunch meat. And she looks smart, but you know what? It's that boyfriend. It gotta be that boyfriend. And I told her to go in that secluded room and do it all. But she ain't followed protocol. So now somebody got my credit card information. And you know what they was doing? They was buying Chanel. They was going on trips, doing stuff, and I don't know. No recollection. I was sick that day. I wasn't even at work. But that boyfriend of yours? We knew you know what? We should have never trusted you. And he seemed like the type that would have did it too. You know what? Yeah. He probably snuck in the room when you wasn't there and got to my documents. Sound like something I should tell the police, actually. That would explain me getting these credit alerts. Surely there is a thief. All right, yeah. All right.
What are you talking about? This me. We're no thieves. Like, what are you talking about? I said, I mean, you're the thief. And I mean, she pissed. Who the are you talking? I'm sitting there, I said, girl, don't ever sit here. I know the circumstances and how we met, but you're not gonna sit here and say that I'm sitting here stealing from you when you're the one stealing from our ass.
Girl, and what did you see? Now is you an accomplice? Because I feel like she's seen something and she's like, oh yeah, she's trying to cover some stuff up for sure. And that's when you should have left. Staying for that measly $40. Why? And why didn't nobody around her, why did nobody tell her that this is a setup? I'm so disappointed. Nobody thought this was weird, even her.
And this me. First of all, don't ever come at me like ever in your life. Like, you're an old woman. I'm trying to respect you because you've been disrespectful to me. And I've been letting it slide for my little $40 an hour, my little $120 a day. Okay. And so she like, you know what? I'm sorry. I just really don't like when stuff like this happen. That's why I was kind of paranoid with letting you take my bank account stuff home, because it's just a coincidence that soon as you take my stuff home, now stuff is kind of coming back. Like, people's trying to scam me, like trying to get over. And so come to find out, it was her son that got out of jail, had her social security number, and is trying to open up accounts so he can get some money because she don't want to give him no more money because he won't stay out of jail.
And you see how the plot thickens. And many times it's family that'll snake you.
So this is her way of punishing him. And he said, you're going to give me some money and I'm going to open it and open these bank accounts, open these credit cards with or without your permission. Whole time you worried about me and my boyfriend. Okay, we ain't got it right now, but we ain't never been no thieves now. That's never been the case. We've never been no thieves. So then after that, she like to send me a text like with $100 cash app. Like, I'm so sorry. I found out it was my son. I'm so sorry to accuse you. I will hope that you will want to come back and work with me. No, I don't want to come back and work with you. I don't want to come back and work with you. So yeah, that was that experience. It was fun. And how I found out it was IRS fraud is because my mama said, girl, do you know what you're doing? I said, no, I don't. I'm just helping her put the files in. She said, girl, she is scamming the IRS. And if you are involved, you will go to jail too. I said, but then she also said, like, if you tell the IRS, like, however much money she owed the IRS or whatever, like, you would get a portion, like 10% or 15% of the money that she's trying to scam them. But I said, you know what? She'll get her own karma. I don't need to do anything.
And shout out to her mom for telling her daughter, you into some weird stuff. And I hope that none of y'all out there can be so easily finessed, sweet talk. And I don't know if it's because the woman was a little bit older, and I don't care. I don't care if she grew up with Jesus. Older don't mean that you should be trusted. And the setting of this story, where it began, really should have been enough, because this is odd behavior, especially for an older woman. Now, I can't confirm nor deny if it was actual fraud going on. This is just all according to what this lady is saying. But does Eddie Murphy know what's going on? And I want to see what else y'all are saying about this whole thing. They said Eddie Murphy somewhere seeing this, like, what is going on? Another comment says, I don't know, I would have went back to work. She got connections. Another comment says, how is this a scam? She was keeping all of her business expense receipts for a tax liability deduction. You're allowed to deduct meals, gift purchases related to your business, equipment expenses, and etc. Sounds like that's what she was doing. If you claim over a certain amount, they will audit you for additional proof. Doesn't mean she was scamming, and that may be true. But this comment says, I don't know if you've seen, but going to the Chanel store for yourself, but claiming it's for business purposes / gifts is fraud. In that scenario, definitely sounds like fraud, but that's not what I heard her say happened with the real estate agent. She said she gave her clients a gift, which was the Chanel bag, as a closing gift for them finalizing all the paperwork for a home they bought. Whether that gift is too expensive or not, I don't know. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a CPA, and this is why people need to talk to the professionals. And if you are one, please comment down below. Is a Chanel bag typically too expensive to count as a quote-unquote gift? I am curious, because I thought it had limits. Maybe it was a knockoff. This comment here says, I'm so ghetto, I would have went back. And was I very invested into this story? Yes. And I hope that a lot of y'all out there see the red flags when random Joe Schmoes on the street are approaching you and hiring you to do stuff that you ain't never did just because they think you look smart. And comment down below, do you think that the real estate agent was scamming? I can't confirm nor deny, but I think that the woman that told this story might have seen some things, because according to her, she saw Eddie Murphy and his mama. We got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.